Hey guys, welcome back. Let's improve and advance your vocabulary by learning other English words you could use instead of always saying kind, small, large, and fast when speaking in English. Together, we're going through over 20 English words. We'll go through a few examples. We'll practice using and saying these sentences out loud to help you remember and use them when having conversations with other English speakers. Now, if this is the first time you're here on my YouTube channel, welcome. My name's Adriana from EnglishTeacherAdriana.com. I help English learners improve their English, boost their confidence to finally speak English confidently. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on notifications so that you know you get that bell when I post my next video lesson here to help you improve your English. Now, while you're watching this video lesson, I suggest that you use and apply the shadowing technique. So when you hear me saying these words out loud, saying these sentences, listen, shadow, repeat out loud to help you practice and to say them more confidently when speaking in English. Go and find yourself a quiet corner and let's begin by focusing on the word kind. Now, the word kind isn't a bad word to be using. Sure, you can use it, but if you feel that you're overusing this word, another word you could use instead of kind is the word loving. Loving. For example, the mother is loving towards her children. Now notice here the pronunciation, loving. The mother is loving towards her children. The mother is loving towards her children. Connected speech. Also the word patient. Patient is a great word to use to express that somebody they really understand. They give people time to express themselves, maybe to do something, and they're really kind in the way that they interact with people. For example, the teacher is patient with her students. So here, this is a nice way to express that she's kind. She's nice to them, but she also gives them the time. She is patient with them. Careful here, pronunciation. It's not patient, patient, patient. The teacher is patient with her students. Patient. Now the word sweet is a lovely word. I use this one quite often and I'm sure you've heard this in a lot of TV shows and movies. For example, she's a sweet lady. So if you feel that somebody is really kind, they're warm, sweet is a great alternative to use instead of kind. Careful again, pronunciation. She's a sweet lady. She's a sweet lady. Now sweet was a nice word to use in everyday conversations, more in informal settings, but if you'd like to express that somebody is really kind in the workplace, a great word to be using in these settings, a little bit more formal, is the word thoughtful. Thoughtful. For example, the last few days at work, I haven't really been feeling my best, so I've been a little bit ill, and Mary noticed, a colleague of mine, and she asked me, Adriana, are you okay? And I answered her, I'm fine, I'm just not feeling the best. Thank you for being so thoughtful. So here I use thoughtful because she didn't need to do that, but she was thinking of me. She was being very kind, very nice about it. But thoughtful is a nice alternative to be using with people that you don't know really well, you don't have a great relationship with, but you would like to express that they're very kind and they're very nice. Now careful with the pronunciation of this one. Thoughtful, okay, the TH sound. Stick the tongue out and then pull it back in. Thoughtful, thoughtful. How thoughtful of you. Now in this situation, I could also use the word considerate. Now here, because Mary is considering my feelings, she wants to know if I'm okay, she's being kind. The word considerate is a very formal way of expressing that somebody is kind. So for example, Mary is a considerate lady. She really cares how I feel. Careful here, pronunciation, considerate, considerate. She's a considerate lady. Let's move on and have a look at other words you could use instead of the word small. Now, small is used a lot in everyday conversations. It's not bad, but another way you could express that something is really, 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 really small. A great word to be using in this setting is the word miniature. Miniature. For example, the house is miniature. So this means that it is really, really small. It's mini. Now, if something is still really small, but it's bigger than miniature, then you could use the word tiny. Tiny. Tiny is still really small, but it's not as small as miniature. For example, that house is tiny. That house is tiny. Now, a word you may have seen in TV shows and movies, you may have come across in conversations with other English speakers, is the word teeny. teeny. Now this is bigger than tiny and miniature. Now teeny is still a small amount, but it's not as small as the previous two. For example, if you asked me, Adriana, would you like a piece of cake? And I really don't want a big piece. I could say, could I please have a teeny slice? So this is just a really informal slang way of expressing really small. Careful pronunciation, teeny. Teeny. Now, as you already know, the opposite of small is large, and there are other words you could use instead of always describing someone, something as being large. A great word to use instead is the word tremendous. Tremendous. For example, we have a tremendous amount of work to do. So here, tremendous is used instead of the word large to describe that we have a large amount of work to do. Careful pronunciation, tremendous. Tremendous, tremendous. Now, if you'd like to describe something as being really large, instead of saying really large, you could use the word massive. Massive. For example, that was a massive cake. So here, instead of saying that was a really, really large cake, that was a massive cake. Careful pronunciation, massive. Massive. Also very similar to the word massive is the word gigantic. Gigantic. So if you feel that something or someone is really large, like a giant, then you could use the word gigantic. For example, that was a gigantic cake. Careful pronunciation, gigantic. Gigantic. Now, a really nice and a really formal word you could use instead of large in a work setting, in a professional setting, is the word substantial. Substantial. For example, there was substantial damage to their house after the earthquake. So here, instead of saying there was large damage, there was substantial damage is a more polite way of expressing this. Careful pronunciation, substantial. 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 Let's move on and have a look at other words you could use instead of fast. Now, if you'd like to describe that somebody was really fast, a great word to be using in this setting is the word quick. Quick. For example, she was quick to complete the task. So here, quick is a great word to use instead of saying really or very fast. She was quick to complete the homework. Careful pronunciation, quick. Also, the word speedy is used a lot by many English speakers. I'm sure you've heard this in TV shows and movies. For example, she was speedy completing the project. This is another way of expressing somebody or something is fast. Careful pronunciation, speedy. Speedy. Now, the word swift is a great word to be using in polite and more professional conversations to describe that someone or something was really fast. For example, she was swift with her actions. So here, instead of saying she was really fast with her actions, she was swift. It's a very nice, it's a very professional way of saying that somebody was really fast. Careful here, pronunciation, swift. Swift. She was swift with her actions. She was swift with her actions. Also, another great word to be using in a professional work setting is the word accelerate. Accelerate. For example, the sentence, the decline in sales seemed to accelerate. So here, instead of saying the decline in sales seemed to go fast, it seemed to accelerate. It's very polite and it's a very professional word to be using instead of fast. Careful here, pronunciation, accelerate. Accelerate. Remember guys, that practice makes perfect. Make sure to watch this video lesson a few times. Use and apply the shadowing technique. Say these words, repeat these sentences out loud to help you remember and use them when speaking in English. Let's take it one step further now by completing a homework task together. Watch this video lesson for a third time. Choose 5 new words and use them in a sentence in the comments below this video. Remember guys, if you like this video lesson, please do let me know by smashing that like button. Like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so that you know you get that bell when I post my next video lesson here to help you improve your English. Continue learning with me by downloading my free audio guide where I share with you exactly what you need to be doing every single day to drastically improve your confidence speaking in English. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in my next lesson. Bye for now.